Welcome back to Learning Spanish with Mr. A. What you see behind my back here is the date. You know, in Spanish, when you want to talk about the time, like what time it is, you want to talk about the date, like what day it is, you have to use the verb ser. You know very well that ser means to be. In Spanish, you have estar and you have ser. But whenever you talk about time, don't even question yourself. Go for ser, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. So the thing is, if you want to master how to tell time and how to, I would say, give the date in Spanish, you're gonna have to remember the numbers, okay? Well, for the sake of the date, you're gonna have to remember the numbers from 1 all the way to 31, yes. And so what you're gonna do here is very simple. You're gonna have to kind of think backwards from the way you think in English. You see, in English, when you see two numbers like this, the month is gonna be the first number, and then the day will be the second. Well, in Spanish, the first number is actually going to relate to the day, and the second one is going to relate to the month. Okay, that's something you need to get used to. It's just different that way. Okay, so what you have to understand here, right? If you want to ask a question and say, what's the date today? Okay, the question is really going to go for which number is it. See, in Spanish, date is fecha. So let me use my red marker here and write it down here. Okay, the date in Spanish is going to be la fecha. Okay, it's actually feminine. All right. Now, if you want to ask the question, what's the date today? This is what it's going to look like. Now you know you have to have the inverted question mark in Spanish. ¿Cuál? Okay. Es la fecha de hoy. Right? So by doing so, you have to understand. You're saying which number is it? Which date is it? Okay. So let me write it down so that when you go back to it, you can actually see what it means. And very simply, let me use the black one, all right, so that this just stands out. Okay, what is the date today? That's kind of a weird thing to say in English, okay, what is the date today, okay? But you do say that, okay? Well, what's the date today? See, in English, when I hear people speaking English, most of the time, they will say, what's the date? What's the date? They'll make the contraction and it will show up like this. What's the date today? I'm not gonna say it's perfectly right, but that's the common way of saying that in English. But what I want you to see here is that in English, you say what, right? In Spanish, right, you have to remember that what translates as, okay, what translates as que. All right, there we go. All right, so you have to understand that when you go for the date itself, you're going to be saying which. Cuál stands for which. But in this particular case, it's going to translate as what is the date today? Okay, so remember what I just told you a few minutes ago. You have to use the verb ser. Okay, so watch. ¿Cuál es la fecha de hoy? Es singular. Why? Because la fecha is the subject. What is the date today? So you stick to the verb ser, okay, and you're gonna say, watch. Your answer, I'm gonna use the green marker here. Your answer to the question here is going to be, watch this. You answer, hoy es el, let's say you want to say the 2nd of October, right? Es el 2, okay, de octubre, you see? So, the point that I'm making here is that you're going to stick to the same verb, which is ser. And the question is being asked in the third singular, so you're going to reply in the same, with the same subject, okay? Same third, okay? You're in the third singular, so you stick to it, all right? So let's go back to a little review. We're going to go through some words that I want you to remember. You probably already know them, but it won't hurt to review them a little bit. The month. All right, let's start with the January, okay? So January in Spanish is gonna be enero, enero, okay? February is gonna be febrero, febrero. March is gonna be marzo. April is gonna be abril. May is gonna be mayo. All right, June is gonna be junio. Remember that sound, all right? July is gonna be julio. One more time, julio, good. And August is gonna be agosto, agosto, all right? September is gonna be almost the same in English, really. Septiembre, septiembre. October is gonna be octubre, octubre, octubre. November is gonna be noviembre, all right? Kind of like septiembre, kind of the same sound. It's a musical thing, you know, I've said it before, I say it again. Just listen to it, septiembre, noviembre, and December, diciembre. So back to what I was telling you earlier. All right, here you have 10, 10, all right? So the first number that you see here is going to be the day, okay? And the second number that you see is going to be the month, all right? So here, what is the 10th month in the year? It's gonna be October. So you got it right here, Octubre. But you gotta start with the day. And you're gonna say the, okay? The 10th of October. El 10 de octubre. You see? You see how this works? So anyway, let's review the numbers just a little bit for all time's sake. All right, let's go. You ready? 1, all the way from 1 to 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Look carefully. The numbers from 1 to 15, you have to memorize them. They're very crucial. But look what happens when you get to 16, from 16 to 19. You just say for 16, 10 and 6, 17, 10 and 7, 18, 10 and 8, so on and so forth. All right? That is the formal way of saying 16, 17, 18, 19. You take 10 for each and every one of them, and you add the Y, okay? Griega, the Y in Spanish, which stands for 10 and, I, so 10 and 6, 16. Now bear in mind that in Spanish you can make the contraction here, and that's going to be very helpful when you don't have to tell time. When you don't have to tell time, you're going to have in the first half of the hour to add the minutes within the hour. So you'll be already saying E, the Y. You don't want to say it twice, it sounds too much, you know? Like if you want to say it's 2:25, you'll be saying in Spanish, son las 2:25. You'd rather say son las 2:25, you see? It makes it smoother, you see? So, it won't hurt you to remember both ways. So I wrote them down here just for good old time's sake, because we talked about the numbers before. Go back to that video that I posted not so long ago, all right? You will see them, they're out there, all right? Now check it out. If I go now beyond 20, all right, I'm gonna be able, once again, to come up with the, I would say, contraction, right? Watch, if I say 21, I'm gonna say, well, 21, like 20 and 1. But I wanna turn that into a contraction. It's gonna turn into 21, 21, you see? The Y goes away and gets replaced by I, and then I add the numbers that I already know from 1 to 9, okay? Look, if you want to say 22, you can say, if you want to, 22, or you can say 22, contraction, you see? All right, 23, 23, or 23. So let's try that. All right, let's go from 20 all the way to 30. All right, come on. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 31. I cheated. It's okay, it won't hurt you. All right, so remember, you can, if you want to write it down formal, like let's say you want to write a check in Spanish, it would be more likely for you. It would be a much better move to go formal here and just go for like the Y. All right, just bring the whole thing in. You're writing down a check, you want it to be very well detailed. Let's say you want to say 23, you're not going to say 23, you're not going to write 23 on the check. You're going to write 23. You see what I mean? All right, so once again, it's a built-in process. I mean, it's like it takes time, okay? What you learn from the get-go, it's got to stay, you know. If you know, once upon a time, you learn the numbers, all right, well, time has gone by a bit since the first videos, right? Now you have to remember them, right? Because now you're using them with telling time, or, you know, in this case, the date, all right? So that's it, all right? Remember your numbers, and remember that the day comes first, and then the month, all right? Now, that's about it. I mean, I wish you were in here so that you could ask me questions, but I think I went through the whole thing here, and I hope it helps, okay? Well, I want to thank you so very much for watching this video, and well, I'll see you in the next instructional video. Hasta luego.